And I thought, close the windows, start the engine, and drift off on a cloud of beef eaters and X and high test. But I didn't. But I might. I don't have a death wish, actually. I just want to get away for a while. I wonder how many people commit suicide because they want to get away and don't know how. And I.
Where's the aspirin?
In the cabinet! That's for his shoulder. The arthritis flares up when he's angry or tired or when he wants it to flare up. Did you know people with arthritis can take as many as 50 aspirin a day? Don't worry about his hand. It's just a small cut. Wash it out with some Mediquick and a bandage will do it. Although, he'll probably put it in a sling. Ted has a sense of the dramatic. Oh, I shouldn't. He's right, you know. I should have written down that phone message. I should have called Ottinger's. That wasn't asking too much. But why didn't I? I used to in the early years, just like a machine. And then the kids came, the long days, the 100 million cafe clatches. Do you think that could be it? Maybe caffeine softens the brain. Anyway, I can't keep the importance of it all in the front of my head. Do you have to return a phone call immediately, right then? What's the big deal about being on time? Ted rushes through breakfast saying, I'm gonna be late. For what? 18 years of rushing and we're overdrawn at the bank. And does it really matter if the TV doesn't work for a couple of days? And if I.
Time when we do it, Georgia and Marty's.
Between 8:30 and 9.
Okay.
Going?
Sure. Any objections?
What about Charlie?
It's Friday night. I came home to be with my family.
Okay.
Okay.
How's your hand?
It's okay. It's just a scratch. I put it in the sling because it was throbbing. You want a drink?
Dare we?
It might help.
No gin. I already had a martini. Is there any wine?
It's warm.
Put an ice cube in it.
Say, that business about closing the garage door and starting the engine.
I was being dramatic.
It's not as easy as it sounds, you know.
You tried it?
Once.
Ted!
35 years ago. Zeke Harper and I decided to get even with the world when we weren't allowed to go to the movies. So we climbed into his dad's Hudson, started it up.
The garage?
Yeah.
What happened?
Not much. We just sat there and pretty soon we got tired and fell asleep. After a while, Zeke's folks got worried when they couldn't find him, so they called mom and dad. Then they all decided that we just snuck off to a movie, so they waited. But when all the shows in town let out, they still couldn't find us. So then they called the police, and pretty soon everyone in the neighborhood was up. They didn't even look into the garage, and we slept right on through. Finally, about 5 in the morning, The old Hudson ran out of gas and backfired as it stalled out. That's how they found us. Dad was so goddamn mad.
You were all right?
Sure. Yeah. There are too many air holes in that garage for anything serious to happen. 2 days later, we did find Zeke's cat, Andy, dead in a basket of leaves underneath the workbench. But he was 17, and for all we know, he could have died of a heart attack from the backfire. Anyway, remember that Jack Parr special on suicide last year? According to him, most people are asphyxiated by accident. Letting a car warm up in the winter when all the cracks around the windows and doors are clogged with snow. Things like that. This is the wrong season.
What did he suggest for spring?
I don't know. Actually, asphyxiation's too slow. The best way to do it would be in the spur of the moment. Swerve a car into a telephone pole or off of a bridge, something like that.
Not me. I'd be afraid I'd end up in the hospital or paralyzed with all my bones broken. Sleeping pills. Just drift off.
Maybe. I guess the worst way to go would be to hang yourself like Nick Doherty.
Any damn fool who hangs himself at a carport for everyone to see has problems.
Had problems.
Problems.
He did that to get even with his wife. I'll show her.
Hope he enjoyed it.
I wonder how many people do that.
What?
Kill themselves just to get even?
I don't know.
Stupid.
Have you ever thought of it?
Suicide.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Why not?
Because, goddammit, I like living. Piss on it. If the world wants to get along without me, it'll have to kill me off. I won't do it myself. Would you?
I don't know. I might.
What the hell does that mean, Sparky?
It means I might. Maybe. Depends. Sometimes I just get fed up. Don't you?
Yeah, sure, but I wouldn't kill myself over it.
Everybody's not like you.
That's not the point.
That is the point.
No, it's not.
Look, Ted, I'm not going to argue with you about suicide. Let's talk about something else.
What did Mums and Sparksy say when they called this morning?
They're driving down for the weekend.
This is the weekend.
They'll be in later tonight.
Did you tell them about the party?
They're going straight to the motel.
Motel? Now look, if they're coming to visit, they can stay.
I told them how you feel, and Mumsy says there's always too much excitement going on around here. And when she wants to go to bed, she wants to go to bed.
They get a room to themselves. I'm usually the one that ends up sleeping on the sofa.
Okay, so this way, you don't have to sleep on the sofa.
Well, what are they? Relatives or tourists?
Ted, don't be such an ass. They're old and they want to be able to get off by themselves.
And when people ask, we tell them that when your mother and dad come to visit, they stay at a motel.
Why not?
You approve?
Approve? Hell, I'm envious. I wish I could get away to a motel myself right now.
What do you think of 70-year-old in-laws who call themselves Sparks and Mumsy?
What's wrong with that?
Sparks Sparkman, her dad, and everybody calls her Sparky. Sparks and Sparky Sparkman, that makes some kind of sense, I guess. But what about Mumsy? Here's a 70-year-old woman whose daughter still calls her Mumsy. Spark, Sparky, and Mumsy Sparkman. How about that?
Do we have to go through this again?
Oh, and she has a brother, an older brother, named Sparkler.
Their nicknames.
Spark, Sparky, Sparkler, and Mumsy Sparkman. Our kids upstairs? You want to know what their names are? Spike and Huck. Those aren't nicknames. That's what it says in their birth certificates. Spike Snyder and Huck Snyder. Don't ask me how I got talking and saying okay to that. My name is Ted. I have two brothers, Bob and Frank. Real names. And when we talk with our mom and dad, we called them
Ted,
Mom and Dad.
for Christ's sakes, get off of it.
But around here, you never know what name will turn up. Take Marty and Georgia, where we're going to the party tonight. Guess what their last name is? Washington. Think about that. Marty and Georgia Washington.
What does that have to do with anything?
It doesn't have to have anything to do with anything. I think it's funny, that's all. Don't you? Marty and Georgia Washington? That's funny to me. Isn't that funny to you?
He gets this way about Sparks and Mumsy because they buy things for us.
I don't mind them buying stuff for us. It's the way they do it. So goddamn cute. Like we're a couple of kids.
I'm their daughter.
Close your eyes. Got a big surprise.
Look, Buster, where would we be right now if it wasn't for their surprises?
Flat on our ass. That's where we'd be. I know it. You know it. And I'm goddamn sick and tired of hearing about it. But it keeps coming up and up and up. Do you want an inventory of what we wouldn't have if it weren't for Mums and Sparks? Let's see. That sofa. The chair you're sitting on. The dishwasher in the kitchen. Your suede coat. Kids' jackets. The station wagon in the garage. And the one before that. The silverware. Let's see. $200 a week for 5 months last year. And our moving expenses the year before that. And $100 here, $500 there. Miscellaneous too numerous to mention. Does that do it? Does that round it out? Is that fair homage to good old Mumsy and Sparks? Well, I am grateful. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I am grateful. I just wish there was some way I could say it so that someone would believe me. So I don't have to keep saying it again and again and again. I mean, I don't know whether to get down on my knees or stand on my head or jump out of a window shouting, I am grateful! I am grateful! I am grateful! But I do know that when they come to visit, I want them to stay here and not live out at a motel and come during visiting hours like we're at a fucking asylum or a zoo. I wrote up $100,000 today. Do you know what that means? Listen, last year when I was back on the street peddling chain link, it was a big day if I wrote up 500 bucks. But today I wrote up $100,000. That doesn't put much more in our pockets, but it's a new beginning. And when I came home tonight, I wanted to grab a hold of you. And I wanted this weekend to be perfect. There's nobody home. You know, Sparky, I tried it. Remember that millionaire from Chicago who wrote the Get Rich Quick book that Marty brought over that one time? Remember what he talked about? Think it, feel it, believe it. And it worked. Thought about the order. I could feel it. And I believed it. Here. And they signed. Think it, feel it, believe it. How about that? That's it.
All right, you two. Good, good. This is big improvement. Really, really neat.
Thank you.
How you feeling right now?
I was like shaking a little bit there. Did you see me shaking?
You mean in the last monologue or the whole time?
The last like little bit there, I was like,
yeah, because you were feeling it, right?
a little nervous. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you at? Let's talk for a second before we dive into something else, because you know, there's part of this where I still agree with you, like I did the other day. I still agree with you that there's something about this where, you know, maybe we just have to do it this way. But I also like the idea. What's that?
We can't see you.
You can't see me. Okay, we'll fix that.
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
You can see me now?
Yeah.
How about now? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So so good. So there are things that are definitely working for this, and then there are still the limitations, and then there will be things that won't work the other way, and then there will be limitations the other way also, but things that might work better. So we can still play with a couple options, but rather than jumping right into that, because you know, you guys were good, and I liked some of the choices. I thought maybe we could talk about where you are as actors, what the rehearsal process was like, if you overcame some mental obstacles to push through and find a way to get this done. So tell me where you're at as individuals. I'd like to start there.
Oh, go ahead.
Danielle, we'll start with you.
Yeah, wow. Well, personally, like I kind of talked to you the other day, Matt, on Mornings with Matt. I was really disappointed, honestly, with myself going into this process because, you know, with the whole quarantine, and I know a lot of us were probably feeling this way. Like, I just kind of took it like, oh, it's going to be online. Like, I feel like I'm not going to have to work as hard because what can we do? Like, I was really blocking my mindset. And then, like, I don't know, it's really exciting just kind of realizing that that shouldn't stop you. And you should work even harder because there's like, and I'm getting emotional because I'm so happy about it, but there's like so many possibilities, and I'm just really happy that I stuck with it and I didn't give up.
I'm really happy about that too, because you know, the thought to give up is there, and right now for all of us, it's heavier and bigger and brighter than ever, and I talk about this a lot where the choices that we make, the small, tiny decisions, they add up, and it doesn't get easier. It just doesn't, you know. And so you have to understand that every day is a choice, every morning is a choice, and right now, you know, one of the nice things, if we want to keep going on about what's good right now, if we want to force ourselves to decide what's good. This is a crisis that we're going through together. You know, how many big crises are we all going to face, but we don't have the whole world that understands how we're feeling? You know, and that happens most of the time. So most of the time when you have a tragedy that's going on in your life, there's a couple people that can help out, but for the most part, you feel isolated, you know. And in this way, the difference is everybody can feel you. Like everybody across every nation, across the world can understands what you're feeling, you know. And that's why I'm so excited for you, and I know why you're emotional, because you did push through, and you pushed through something that you felt was impossible, and that's exciting, you know. And you did something important, you did something special, and either way, no matter how good it was, doesn't matter. You grew as a human being, and you gave your all in the last 24 hours, and that feels good.
Yeah.
And you know, no matter what, coming out of this thing, you don't regret it. You know, it's like, okay, this is amazing that I was able to do this during this time. I can look back on this and go, heck yeah, you know, I did something extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Alex, how about you, bud?
Well, I came into this master class just like wanting to try and soak everything up I can, just learn, because I'm still very new at this. But